Cooper Clover 1972 here. Of course, you better know me as Brian by this point. So, I haven't been on for 3 weeks. The last time I was on, I did another talking TV. How many talking TVs have I done so far? Well, I did the Newsroom season 1. That was the last time I was on YouTube. And I think I did another TV show. I can't recall what it was. Anyways, as you see by the titles, it's Rainer Werner's Fassbinder's 8 Hours Don't Make a Day. You got Hannah Shigula there as Marianne. You got Gottfried Jan as what's the character's name? Joachim. Then you have I don't know her name, but she's the grandmother of his character, and this is her lover. And then this is Joachim's father and mother. Wait, no, that's his sister Monica right there. Oh no, that's Harold, her husband, who I thought was Fassbinder, but it turns out it was Kurt Rabe, who's one of his regular actors. Who's that down there? I don't know. Some of those people that work with Joachim, right there. So, anyways, this is a Criterion, and of course it's Fassbinder. I had to buy it. I've had this quite a while. Well, I had this since the end of last year, and I didn't take a look at it until recently. What can I say? So this film is, it's let me see, maybe made 3 miniseries in his lifetime. I'm not sure. I have 2 other ones that he's done, which is World on the Wire, which is sort of like The Matrix before there was The Matrix, and that was the only science fiction film he made. And then he did another one for TV called Berlin Alexanderplatz, which is like, maybe it's the longest film I own. It's like 13 hours or 15 hours or something like that. Of course, technically it's not a theatrical movie. I think it was shown in the theaters, but it was, made for TV. Anyways, Fassbinder is known for, his very depressing endings and his, very grim look, very grim look at humanity. And maybe that's why I like Fassbinder's stuff a lot. 2 of my, well, actually, technically it's 3. 2 of my favorite films of all time, and I have like a top 40, top 50 favorite films. I had a stream where I showed tentative top 10 films. Like if I had to choose 10, but I could replace those with directors, the directors in those particular top 10s. I could take films from other films they've made and they'd be just as good, and other films that are not in that top 10 that are just as good by other directors. and so it's more like I have no idea, but it's like a top 40, top 50, something like that. Favorite films. This particular film is more optimistic than Fassbinder's regular stuff, and I didn't mind that. Um, People I think have told me that in order for him to, well, maybe he didn't have enough money. They were going to continue this series. It's only in 5 parts, but they were going to continue the series, get more into the labor aspects of the film. Anyways, Yoka meets um, Marianne at the start of the movie, and Yoakum is a factory worker, factory right there, and she tries to inspire him to change working conditions, like getting paid better, um, things like that, I guess. And like like a subplot of the show is, or miniseries, is the grandmother. She's trying to get an apartment because she lives with her daughter and son-in-law, um, and um, she wants to live on her own, and she meets what's his name? Oh, trying to think of, Gregor. That's the character name. I can't remember the name of the actor. But anyways, he's kind of like goes along with the flow. He doesn't, like it. She says, well, I mean, like when they're on the what do you call those things in San Francisco? Well, maybe it's a bus or one of those trolley cars or whatever. And she says, "How much? I make so much money. I have so much money in my pension. How much money do you have in your pension?" And she has a significant portion less than he does. He says, what his pension is. And she says, well, that means altogether we have this much money to, like, I think she follows it up with like to spend on an apartment. And he says, well, that's the thing though. I have something amount of money, which is more than she does. And she says, no, you're wrong. We have this amount of money. And he sort of goes along with it, and he sort of, well, complacent, would that be I don't know if that's the right word. He goes along with it, I think, because like, he realizes resisting is stupid, like well, what I mean by that is having a life together with her, sharing a loving relationship. It trumps money, and he just goes along with that, whatever she says, because I think he feels better doing it that way. It's sort of like I've never been married, but I think I could see it with like some of my relatives. Like the husband will just go along with what the wife says, even if maybe he doesn't want to go along with it totally, because I think he helps the wife feel better about doing things, and I think it's just better for the couple. I guess that's what I'm trying to get across. So that's what I'm trying to drive with those two, and also with Hana Chigula's character, Marion, and what's his real name? Gottfried Jan or Han, playing Joachim. She tries to. He's a little more resistant, maybe because he's younger, and but she's. I think she's also here's some nitty gritty on this. She's middle class, and he's working class, and she tries to make him see things differently. So anyways, yeah. So she's one of his regulars, Fassbinder's regulars. So is he. Um, she's in one of my favorite movies of all time, which is The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. That's my and I like Beware of a Holy Whore too a lot. That's one of my favorites of Fassbinder. Maybe my personal favorite of Fassbinder would be Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. If you look on my channel, I do have a review of Bitter Tears. It's a very devastating film, but I love it. I can't get enough of it. Um, but I did a review of that film, and she plays Karen in that movie. Um, well, you can take a look at the review. So you have to scroll a ways down, but that's where it is. Um, Now I'm 9 minutes on the video. I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else to say about this? So it's just about a family and their different different members of the family. Harold and Monica. Monica's in an unhappy relationship with her husband because he's strict. He's really uncaring. He could care less if she's happy. So that her marriage is in turmoil. Yeah, and then you know Yakin's fellow workers trying to get a better life for themselves, money wise, and yeah. So I guess that does it for that review. I do highly recommend this. Oh, the grandma character, she creates she meets a lot of animosity like towards getting an apartment with real estate agents. This is not the 21st century where you can look at real estate on the internet, and it's 1970s, this film, and it's I think it was 72 maybe, or 73. um, she tries to bark in a certain way, and it sort of backfires on her, but she does well. I won't say anything, but she also decides to make a kindergarten out of a library that went bust in a certain section of a German town, and she makes this kindergarten, and she meets conflict along the way, but you'll see what happens. It's surprisingly very, very different from the rest of Fassbinder's work. So come in, and if you're going to watch, just come into that with a different pair of eyes, because this is not the same. So the title, I think, refers to labor. Oh, another thing, she says, or maybe he does too. The work that you do in your life, not everybody, but like sometimes doesn't define you. It's something that you do to get by, to get paid, but it's not who you are. And so maybe that's what, and I think that's sort of what the title refers to. 8 hours don't make a day, and I think the title is grammatically supposed to be incorrect, because I think the correct English would be 8 hours doesn't make a day. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about what's coming up on my channel. I have the Criterion channel now. I've gotten a few more streaming services. I got that. I got the Great Courses Plus. Of course, and I already have Shudder and Netflix, and Mubi. But and I don't know. I'm saving money for Japan. I'm wondering if the streaming services are choking that a bit. But I don't know. I tried. Well, I didn't try. I changed my membership of Shudder from a monthly to a yearly to save more money, and I Criterion channel. I changed my subscription from a monthly to a yearly, so I got to pay all that off. But anyways, Criterion channel anyways has a series on there called Columbia Noir. I've watched all the films. There's 12 of them. There's one of them has a bunch of special features to it because it's in the regular collection. It's called with Humphrey Bogart and Gloria Graham, in a Lonely Place. So I'd like to do a video on the Columbia Noir series of the Criterion channel, and that's going to be there until June 21st. So I guess I'm technically not rushing to do it. And also, as you may recall, I do weekly reviews of films I've watched, and I've watched a few films. I haven't managed to type them down on my phone, and put down the actors, or if I can find something significant like the cinematography is by a well-known cinematographer, or the music or whatever. I sort of become sort of lazy in that aspect, at least for the time being. And also in regards to my garage band music, my latest song, I'm trying to do something different, and that is I'm trying to work off the feedback of the guitar and the amp, because I guess the term would be analog amp, not a digital amp. Maybe it's digital for all I know. But I have an amp that I can hook up to the computer, and the amp can hook up to my guitar. And the latest GarageBand song I'm working on, I haven't finished it yet. I did some of it already, maybe a few days or a week ago. But what I tried to do is play with the feedback of the amp. And of course, you don't want to turn the speakers of your computer on when that happens, because you'll blast the computer speakers. So, I mean, if I try to do that in the future, I hope I don't forget, just by accident, that the speakers of the computer are on, because then I'll blast them, and then I guess I'll have to fix them or something. I don't know. I'd like to play with feedback, because like Kurt Cobain did that, and I know other rock musicians have played with feedback as part of their songs, and it's an interesting feature to show and work off of. I've thought about doing it. I did technically an album or albums of my GarageBand work in the past. Like when I started doing GarageBand stuff, I just took the loops off my iMac G3, and I just put them in different tracks and mixed them together, and that's how I made an album, like around an hour long album that I gave to like my relatives and a few other people. So it wasn't music I composed. It was just it was mixed music. And then I did a few other albums, I guess, that, well, maybe they're a little more experimental. And then I finally got a few guitars and a MIDI keyboard, and you've seen those GarageBand files there, and I've done that on my MacBook Pro. Those ones. I know Corey told me about doing a playlist. Maybe I should. I'm not quite sure how you go about programming a playlist. I'm sure it's very easy. Yeah, and I have thought about doing a video that's an album, or even stuff that you see on, well, it would be stuff that's on my YouTube channel, but I would do like a hour-long video that has like the hour-long album, with it would be the hour-long album. It would just be an hour-long video with all of the music in it. So I guess that covers everything. Maybe I'm leaving something out, but anyways, this video is at 17 minutes. I think I sufficiently explained things, and maybe the next video you're going to see from me is the Columbia Noir thing, which was worth a watch. It was really worth a watch. I think it was in replacement of their Turner Classic Movies that they had on Filmstruck. I never had Filmstruck, and I think I'm going to buy movies from the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale. Oh, another thing I'll mention, I spent so much on Criterion's flash sales in the past, they gave me a $50 gift certificate. So I have some money to play with to buy, and I have some gift certificates from Barnes & Noble to play with to buy some Criterions. So, but I'm just waiting for the sale in July. So, I talked enough. Thanks for watching. Comments are welcome, and I'll see you in the near future. Bye for now.